you ready to get empowered? Of course you are. Well, you picked the right time and the right place. It's time now for Phrantceena Halres and the Empowered Family Talk program. Spend the next hour with Phrantceena and learn things that you need to know.
I am Phrantceena Halres, and this is Empowered Family Talk.
Go.
Words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Good day to all of our listeners and sponsors, and welcome back to Empowered Family Talk on this lovely day of Monday, February 12th, 2018. Our scripture for today is Romans 12, 1 through 2, which is a segue to our topic today. We, the peoples, paying it forward in the 21st century as we restore God's divine order within our minds, body, soul, and spirit for optimal health and its sustaining care for our children and our family of today. Are we prepared? Now, let's introduce our special health and wellness guest today joining us at the table on our panel. And I'll start with Miss Elena Miller. She is the owner of Spa Therapy out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Second guest is Miss Jody Appel. She is the owner of the Salt Cave in Asheville, North Carolina. Our third guest is Dr. Jeffy Wong, acupuncturist and herbalist in Charlotte and South Carolina. And we have Dr. Chu, our acupuncturist and herbal medicine doctor from Raleigh, North Carolina. And, of course, joining us, our producer, Jack Bishop. Welcome to Empowered Family Talk, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys, for being here with us today. We have an hour show here, and we want to share with our listeners natural medicine healing of our body, mind, souls, and spirit therapies. How do we pay it forward in the 21st century? And I'm going to start with Dr. Chu out of Raleigh, North Carolina, to speak with us about just your history. Give us a history of Chinese medicine, where you've been and where you are today, and what are the benefits of alternative medicine and healing with acupuncture and herbal medicines. Dr. Chu.
Okay. Well, Chinese medicine has been in practice well over 3,000 years, a documented history of 3,000, but actually it's much, much longer than that. It's been gradually more popular now, and it's been practiced all over the world. I think the one thing that I feel is the most important nowadays is the Chinese medicine is based on a very holistic view about humans and their relationship with the natural world.
Mm-hmm.
And for the modern seems like a modern medicine, the approach of current days medicine practice has been pretty narrow and very segregated.
Yes.
That causing a lot of problems. So I think that the Chinese medicine is emphasizing on a balance of internal balance, and which is focusing on relationships. Different parts of the body need to have good relationship.
Yes.
And also their relationship with the natural world. And we are not separate from the natural world. And we constantly have communication with the surroundings, with the air, with the water, with the sunlight, and with the winds, and with the temperatures, and with whatever changes going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to have a good relationship with that. So relationship is the key.
Yes, relationship with our bodies.
Right, with our body, with the people, with the natural world. And
yes.
not emphasizing so much on bacteria and viruses and vitamins and those are all ingredients. They're very narrow and very partial views. If we have good relationship, we don't need to worry about these things.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Chu, for that. It's so important in Chinese medicine. What we've heard from Dr. Chu is the relationship with our environment and our bodies. And
just like the problem of our society, of our families, of the countries, it's relationship problems. It's not about this and that. You know.
That's correct. Thank you, Dr. Chu. Dr. Wong, and I'm privileged to have both of experience with Dr. Chu and Dr. Wong. Dr. Wong, could you share with our listeners a brief history of your background and where you are within the natural healing, acupuncture, and herbal medicines?
Yes. Thank you, Phrantceena. Okay.
Yes.
My name is Jeffrey Wang. I come from China originally. And I got my medical training from China in 1978 to 1982 in Luzhou Medical College.
Mm-hmm.
Accepted the traditional Chinese medicine training in China, and then I got my the doctoral degree in China and the master degree of the gynecology of Chinese medicine from the Chengdu University of Traditional Chinese Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
From the 1984 to 1987.
Yes.
So we got my wife and I both got the kind of traditional Chinese training in China. And
yes.
I'm very happy to be here to help the people understand the concept of Chinese medicine. And actually, the Chinese medicine, it's included the whole unit system, not just for the, right now the people think about the acupuncture. The Chinese medicine actually includes a whole system, which include the basic therapy of Chinese medicine and acupuncture, box busting, and Chinese herbal medicine, and massage.
Yes.
Yeah, some people do the massage. Yeah, massage, cupping, and food therapy, and exercise. Yeah, like the Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, etc. So this is a whole special, unique medical system, which has been used in China and the world over 3,000 years.
Yes.
It's helped the people to prevent and treat the different kind of the physical and mental issues.
Yes. And Dr. Wong, you mentioned massage, and we have Elena Miller, who actually owns a spa therapy organization in Charlotte. And we have Jody Appel, who owns the Salt Cave. So let's hear from Elena, and let's hear about that massage therapy. As we circle back around, we want everybody to share those most important nuggets for our healthcare. Elena, could you speak to us about the history and benefits of massage in our holistic healthcare? And then Jody, we'll follow with you with the same question in the Salt Cave, and then we'll come back together and see how we make a cake here.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Phrantceena, for having me. My name is Elena Miller Ash. And massage therapy has been around for thousands of years. And there's many different styles of massage, modalities of massage. But it is extremely effective, depending on the client's needs, and the client needs to be able to express what they are wanting to get out of the massage, and what their issues or might be. So they need to be able to, communicate clearly, so that the therapist then knows how to approach their issues.
Yes.
But massage is a great way for relaxing, for reducing stress, for depending on, deep tissue can relieve the deeper muscle layers, stretching. It's all just an overall benefit for people.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And that ties right into your acupuncture as a part of the holistic system of meditations, massage therapy. So I'm sure you have many clients that come in with the various aspirations, and your specialty is massaging the human body and its pressure points to relieve pain.
Absolutely. I do I work on a lot of athletes, a lot of triathletes, so they tend to like a deeper pressure massage, and they tend to not stretch, so I do stretch them. But also, massage is really about connecting with the person, building that trust relationship, so that they can get the outcome that they want. The clients can receive the outcome that they want.
Yes. Now, thank you for that, Miss Elena. Miss Jody, I'm very fascinated with the Salt Cave, as you know. Could you share with our listeners some of your history there with the Himalayan salt, and actually constructing a cave in the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina, for health benefits? Can you just share with our listeners some of your history there?
Yeah, of course. Thanks again for having me on. So my name is Jody Appel, and I own what's called Asheville Salt Cave. It's in downtown Asheville, North Carolina. And yes, we have recreated basically a natural salt cave, or nature-inspired, as I like to call it, salt cave in downtown Asheville, where we've brought in about 20 tons of salt from floor to ceiling. And we've made it a sustainable environment by the particular microclimate that we keep in that space. So it is a living, kind of regrowing itself space. And, one thing I just want to share that I love hearing all of your guests speak about is that it's about your relationship with your whole body, as well as relationships with the environment and others, because we all are impacting one another. And I definitely feel like that's sort of part of what we do at the Salt Cave as well. And so our treatments are basically a very passive treatment on your end for people to come in to relax. We have either some zero gravity chairs or pillows and blankets that they can relax in on the floor. And we've recreated this model based on a particular mine that's in Poland called the Woliszka mine. That is a working mine. It's there for people to go and check out, and actually you can live down there for months at a time. And so we've kind of taken that concept and made it a little more accessible for people who maybe can't travel to Poland to utilize.
And that's Poland, the country Poland.
Poland, the country, in Krakow, yes.
Yes, Krakow, okay.
And so salt therapy has been known for centuries, from whether you're looking at a mine or you're looking at an ocean, with a lot of benefits for the body, because we are actually reconstructed of water and salt as well. So we are very similar to what nature holds in its own systems. Mm-hmm. And so when you either breathe in those elements, or you surround yourself with those, or you ingest water and salt, it can actually help balance out the minerals of the body, rebalancing and helping to restructure areas of maybe that need extra attention. So we find a lot of people that have respiratory issues or skin conditions, digestive problems, circulatory issues, kind of, again, running that whole body gamut, coming in and finding benefit. Some of the benefits might even be for those people. We talked about meditation before, so we do offer a little meditation within our services. Mm-hmm. And I think some of that is just, we are a society that does not shut off, that does not unplug from our phones or from internet access and all those things. And so I think part of the benefit that we offer is the unplug, the shut off, come back to your body and regroup. And that can have its own amazing benefits, minus even all of the salt cave and what that does. So that meditation and that kind of shut off power is quite impressive. And yeah, I feel
well. That's great.
With what I shared. If there's anything else that I can add.
Well, of course, I appreciate the salt cave and the Chinese medicine and all of our massage and alternative healing. Jack, did you have something you'd like to add into this segment here as we talk about the various forms of alternative healing for our families?
No, but I do have to say that it's once again time for us to take a break here on Empowered Family Talk.
Let's take a break, guys, and let's start our next segment as we talk about paying it forward in the 21st century health. Let's start talking about how we prepare our families to embrace this 21st century alternative health and wellness policy and procedure for our homes.
I'm Colonel Mason, managing editor of the Science News Radio Network. For those of us who enjoy listening to Phrantceena on this program, we have an opportunity to meet her in person when Phrantceena is a featured speaker at the Energy Utility Environment Conference in San Diego, March 5 through 7. In just a minute, I'll tell you how you can get half-price registration for the entire conference and hear Phrantceena reveal what the world must know urgently about nuclear security, imminent world dangers known only by insiders. What happened to all that weapons-grade plutonium when Russia and the United States agreed to deconstruct their nuclear arsenals? And why is the Republican governor of South Carolina suing the Republican-led U.S. Department of Energy for $1 million a day over that question? Why is the ingenious program titled Megatons to Megawatts not working? And what is Russia doing in retaliation for the United States breaching that treaty with them? Is Russia responsible for the rapid advancement of nuclear weapon capabilities by North Korea? What do insiders secretly believe is the biggest threat to nuclear security worldwide? And why does nuclear safety and nuclear security demand such different disciplines? Vexing questions with constantly evolving answers. Phrantceena is a nuclear security specialist. These and other dangerous conditions confounding the government will be clearly brought to light when she speaks at the conference. The EUEC is the country's largest energy utility environment conference expo with over 400 speakers, 2,000 attendees, and 200 exhibits. Learn more at EUEC.com. You can get half-price conference registration by using the code TTD when registering online. Use the VIP code TTD when you register at EUEC.com.
Empower your family with the dynamic new book by Phrantceena Halres, Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are. It's the book that gives you insights into life's problems. Phrantceena Halres is an author, motivational speaker, and national broadcaster who believes the answers to your problems lies within the knowledge that was once traditionally passed down by families. But that knowledge has been short-circuited by today's faster pace. The book, Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are, brings that accumulated wisdom to the problems that all families face. You'll find your copy of Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are at Amazon and at better bookstores. Empower your life with the dynamic new book, Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are by Phrantceena Halres. Do you want to empower families and young people in your community? Then take the time to make a tax-deductible contribution to the Coach Tate Fund. The Coach Tate Foundation is dedicated to helping young people and their families in learning and passing on the kinds of life skills that we all need to succeed. All too often, we hear about kids and their families having encountered life's difficulties that could have been easily avoided by knowing better decision-making skills, from anger management to money management to something as simple as learning to manage how we spend our time or how we use our job skills. Make a donation to the Coach Tate Fund. It'll help kids who need help and their families too. Make your contribution to the Coach Tate Fund. Get details at www.coachtatefoundation.com. And oh, by the way, thank you.
To Empowered Family Talk with our special guests, Dr. Chu, Dr. Wong, Miss Elena, and Miss Jody. Thank you guys again for being with us on the second segment here, and we'd like to ask and start with Dr. Chu, and just to kind of chime in for the table. I'll share with you a brief story. As the Coach Tate Foundation, we're working with a lot of our families and children between the ages of 6 and 18. And a lot of families were on that Obamacare health care program, and they've been trying to make some serious decisions on their seniors and stay-at-home disability folks, how they can care for their illnesses in lieu of having any insurance. And one of the families had submitted a question for the table today as they're preparing to embrace alternative health. How do we get legislation in place in this new health care bill that can reflect alternative healing and wellness, such as Chinese medicine, massage therapy, and salt therapy, and the things we're discussing today? The question for you guys, how important an act would that be for your services to the general population? Dr. Chu, is legislation important here?
The legislation is certainly important, but I think the most important is awareness. If the population, if most of us have the awareness, that will change the whole atmosphere of the political or regulation-wise or insurance coverage, all these things. They really depends on the awareness that we as people have. So I think right now many people are directed by the insurance policies, what they cover, what they not cover, what's considered as in-network or out-of-network.
Right.
Rather than paying attention to what your health is needing, you start to turn attention to financial aspect, which makes you not able to make correct decisions and choices. I think the most important is we have to know that our health, each individual are responsible for our own health.
Yes.
We cannot depend on the insurance company to be responsible for our health. Mm-hmm. If you do that, then you lose the you lose the compass. You don't know, your decision making starts to get fuzzy. You don't know which way to go because the doctors and insurance companies tells you one thing and your body tells you another thing. So which voice are you listening to?
That's a great question.
So this is the challenge. So if we want to be responsible for our health, and we need to kind of go by that, and a lot of times the alternative treatments are not covered by insurance.
Right.
So as a practitioner, we need to kind of consider that, try to support people who want to take charge of their own health care. So we, well, at least I'm trying to pricing a service not too expensive in the range that people can afford if they want to.
Yes.
But certainly when you use a service which is not covered in insurance, temporarily you will be kind of paying somewhat more than other visits. But in the long run, if your health is better, you don't really need to pay that much overall. So those are the calculations you have to consider. If your body is really healthy, you don't really need to pay that much, even a little bit for the services that alternative health care needs to spend.
Yes. I like that point of self-reliance. It's what we're teaching our children and families more at home when they don't have that coverage on their insurance policies. Instead of taking that $100 or $50 and buying things that aren't healthy, is to reallocate those funds toward their healthy body and their mind. So being self-reliant and self-empowerment is a big thing for our charity. Dr. Wong, could you share with us some of your experiences around the medicine and the embracement of that with families and their financial ability to afford the services?
Yes, and I agree that Dr. Liu, his opinion about this topics. Actually, this is two aspects. Legislation is very important. If you can take care of the some coverage for the alternative medicine like the acupuncture or massage or something else that covers some, it may help the people who cannot afford the treatments. This is one aspect. But another aspect is as a person, as a family, so we have to take responsibility to our health.
Yes.
So we need, from beginning, from child, we need to know. You need to take all the responsibility for your health.
Yes.
So you need to build up your health and lifestyle. Eating healthy, do the regular exercise, do the meditation, try to take care of your whole lifestyle, physically and mentally.
Yes.
That way you wouldn't use a lot of the medicine. You wouldn't use a lot of drugs. So this is one aspect. So I think that personally we need to take care of we need to understand, building up the healthy lifestyle. And this is a very important aspect. And then on the other hand, the government, if the medical insurance can cover some, that also can help the people, help the families. Something we cannot control, but we need to take care of our responsibility, take care of our health. Yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah.
Well, I agree with that, Dr. Wong. We have talked with a few good senators in our Congress to hopefully get some leverage and some legislation around some minimal coverages of massage and Chinese medicine as a holistic approach, particularly to get these kids off of opioids and pills.
Yes.
And it's a big epidemic right now, these opioids. And we're dealing with families now that are looking for alternative help. So introducing acupuncture, massage, Chinese medicine, herbs. And Jody, we want to talk about that salt cave. Can you share with us some of your benefits and challenges? And would insurance coverage benefit your customer base as well?
So I'm so glad that you brought that question up, and I'm really glad that we're talking about it. For years, I feel like long before I was on this planet, insurance wasn't a thing. You would just go to your doctor and you would pay for what you needed. I was sick. I had a broken leg, whatever it was. You went and you paid for that particular issue you were having. And I feel like now we're sort of in a realm of you have to have insurance. And I think like Dr. Chu said, you almost like you have to choose those healthcare options because massage isn't covered or acupuncture isn't covered. And since I've been in the holistic field probably about 15 years now or 20 years now, I feel as though I've talked to many people about an idea of sort of having a coverage where, you know, I want to go see a massage therapist. I want to go see an acupuncturist. I should have a plan that should allow for me to choose what kind of coverage I like.
Correct.
Instead of, well, your doctor has to tell you to go to a meditation or your doctor has to tell you you need to have surgery for this. I think bringing back that, like, we're responsible for ourselves, there should be different healthcare plans that allow for us to say, well, I like maybe a little bit of doctor care for if those God forbid moments happen. But the reality is most times I want to do preventative care so that I am not getting sick as much or I'm not, I'm eating the right foods and things along those lines to really do the preventative side before I have to pay for the cancer treatment or the God forbid that happen in life. So I think really targeting to the people that are in charge of making these healthcare bills, really giving them the knowledge that we should be allowed to choose our healthcare. This is about us as humans, not as a general public.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I feel like if there was sort of a preventative healthcare package you could buy, I think that would be ideal for me, as well as, you know, as we're educating people, all of us in this field, in these healthcare fields, we're educating people about preventative healthcare. That's one of our main things that we try to introduce at the Salt Cave, is taking control of sort of how do you feel, not what does your doctor tell you that you feel. We offer, I think, a very affordable service at $25 for somebody to come in, but you know, some people can't even afford $25. So we even do local days where people can come in for less expensive service, so that maybe we can hit those people. So it is affordable for all people to try to kind of take back that control that I feel like with insurance we've sort of lost a little bit, where we've given over that power, unfortunately.
Good point.
So even, you know, we offer a variety of services, including massage and sometimes acupuncture, and I try to make it a way for people to try different services to sort of say, like, oh, I've never had a massage or I've never had an acupuncture treatment. Well, like, here's a taste of it. Like, how do you feel now? So you can get that benefit and then go, now I can take a little bit of that control back for myself. So, I mean, I think it would be absolutely amazing if there was legislation that could kind of cover healthcare in a very preventative form. And I think, you know, unfortunately it doesn't work for the doctors. They want to make their money and get their kickbacks, but it works for the human body.
Well, that's
really
right.
Like keeping people healthy is really what doctors used to want to do. That was their intention.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that, because health is, without good health, we can't make any wealth. Elena, how has that will that benefit the massage? Do you have customers who request would benefit from having insurance care or just straight out of the pocket care for massage?
I do have clients asking, do I accept insurance? And we don't, because we tend to not get, most massage therapists don't, because you tend to not get paid for the full amount of your treatment. But I totally agree with what Jody was saying about having a preventative care package available, and what Dr. Wong was saying about taking control of your health and your lifestyle is only going to be to your benefit.
Exactly.
So putting the pressure on our politicians to make those changes and give us that offering of preventative care.
Yes, and we're working on that, and we're encouraging all of our family and friends, and of course our listeners, and some of our politician friends in our local districts to implement this into the health care bill so that it becomes legislation. And then we'll see the majority, I believe, of our populations that are in health disarray certainly improved, and which will improve our economy, economics, because when folks are healthy, mind, body, soul, and spirit, they can certainly earn money. Would you not agree with that, Dr. Chu?
Oh, yes, I agree totally.
And I think once we implement that into our homes, we'll find the benefits are certainly everlasting. Jack, did you have something we need to hear from you in this conversation? We've had many talks on alternative health care, chiropractor, and all this. Would you like to share with our listeners some of your feedback on this subject?
Okay, I don't mind sharing. Let me ask our two doctors that are on the panel. Gentlemen, one of my concerns is the fact that Western medicine treats the symptoms, not the condition, not the patient. Am I right in looking at it that way? Dr. Wong?
Wow, that's a very good question. That's a very good question. Well, it's to me. I actually got the training in both Chinese medicine and Western medicine. Well, generally speaking, I cannot say that just to treat the symptom. Right now, some doctors are also looking back to try to find the reason, to treat the root. Yeah, not just the manifestation. Well, in traditional Chinese medicine, we're always looking for the root, try to find the root of the problem, not just to treat the manifestation. So we say we need to treat the root of the disease and treat the people as a whole body, not just the pain. I got the headache, or just treat the headache. No, we need to find the exact root of what caused the headache.
Yes.
And we treat the root. That's a traditional Chinese medicine. Yeah, that's my answer.
Well, let's throw the ball over to Dr. Chu. Am I right in looking at the fact that I go into my...
I think you have a very good point. Although Western medicine is also trying to find more deeper reasons for the disease, but somehow it ends up in a more superficial way of dealing with the symptoms mostly. I think this is because of the paradigm. The Western medicine is so far mainly is focusing on, they call it evidence. The evidence is typically that's what we can sense. So they pay more attention to structural changes or something that's very detectable, like chemical changes, which you can test. And from the test report, you can see what is changing. But Chinese medicine is more focused on, we call it energy or qi, which is beyond the physical appearances. Although there is science when the qi is moving, changing, there is a physical change, but it's a level beyond the physical manifestation. It's a before manifestation. So that's why when we say Chinese medicine is trying to find the root of the cause, the root is not structural physically. It's more energetically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it goes a little deeper, or actually a lot more deeper it can. So when you are working on the energy level, you are more likely to work on the subtle changes or changes that before a disease is actually manifested. So you already can detect some imbalances. If you start to work on those imbalances, you will prevent illnesses, and you can also treat in a more deeper way. So that's why it's more goes deeper. And that's why initially I said about relationships is you don't focus on, for instance, if a person have a cough or a lung infection, a lot of times it's caused by somewhere else. Like just recently there is an article on the Science magazine. They talk about that they find the lung disease is coming from gut. But in Chinese medicine, we've been talking about this more than 3,000 years. The large intestine and lung is one system. Mm-hmm. It's not two separate things. So that's why we approach things very differently and tends to go deeper. And rather than masking symptoms or just focusing too much on the symptoms and those manifestations, you lose track of a bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. Now, Phrantceena, I know this is your program, and I don't want to steal it, but
no, this is open forum, Jack. You know that.
Well, I'm just being courteous today, but I would like to ask the two ladies on the panel who are involved in some of my favorite alternative type things. When I was a young guy and I discovered massage therapy in my late 20s, I did not delineate between the various types of massage. So I had a lot of relaxation massages done, but then I discovered other types of massage therapy, from Esalen to sports massage, which I fell in love with in my 40s because it made me feel so much younger.
And shiatsu.
Yeah, and also I did a thing when I was young and strong and could take a lot of pain called Rolfing. What kind of massage should I look at now that I'm an old guy with grandkids? Which one of you ladies would like to take that question?
I guess I'm happy to share. I think it's a very personalized experience of what does your body need. Maybe today it does need relaxation massage, but maybe tomorrow, you were out and you pulled a hamstring and you really need some specific work on an area. So maybe even some deep tissue or that Rolfing type of work to kind of restructure yourself if it's been a continual problem over time. So I think kind of going back to paying attention to you and really like tuning inwards and saying, where am I today? Because tomorrow I'm going to be somewhere different in this body. So today, what is it that I need? I get massages fairly often, and I like good relaxation work. But the other day I had a severe leg issue, and I had a full deep hour tissue massage on my one leg. So I think, where is the body in this moment and what does it truly need is really the question that personally I think should be asked and then communicated with your therapist. I think that's one thing that I notice a lot of people have issues with is the communication side with your therapist saying, hey, this is what I need for my body today. Sometimes I think as being a therapist, in the past, and also watching therapists throughout my day, sometimes we get kind of caught up in what we want to do for the body, but really it's listening and communicating with the body as well as the client.
Right.
I think that's really important aspect, and not just like in the relaxation and the chit chats and the whatnot. Like, what are you really here for today? What can I do to make your experience be what you're paying for and what you need? So that's kind of where I would.
Now we've got another.
Tuning in.
Now we've got another lady on the panel. We'd like for her.
Elena.
Yes, would you chime in?
Yes, I would ask. Are you exercising? And how much of that you're doing and what you're doing, and then what kind of stretching are you doing for your body after the exercising? Since you did mention that you are a grandfather with grandkids, I'm sure you want to be keep your flexibility in place, so you can crawl around with them. But just, like Jody said, communicating with your therapist on your needs and how you want to feel, and what your concerns are as you're aging.
Well, I tell you, you've given me some great thoughts to take a look at. Phrantceena, there's another thought that I've got in mind. You know what that thought is? We have to take a
little break.
We have to take a break. We'll be back in just moments.
With the last session. Thank you.
Do you want to empower families and young people in your community? Then take the time to make a tax-deductible contribution to the Coach Tate Fund. The Coach Tate Foundation is dedicated to helping young people and their families in learning and passing on the kinds of life skills that we all need to succeed. All too often, we hear about kids and their families having encountered life's difficulties that could have been easily avoided by knowing better decision-making skills. From anger management to money management to something as simple as learning to manage how we spend our time or how we use our job skills. Make a donation to the Coach Tate Fund. It'll help kids who need help and their families too. Make your contribution to the Coach Tate Fund. Get details at www.coachtatefoundation.com. And oh, by the way, thank you.
Thanks, Phrantceena. I'm Colonel Mason, Managing Editor of the Science News Radio Network. We can meet Phrantceena in person at the Energy Utility Environment Conference in San Diego, March 5 through 7. In just a minute, I'll tell you how you can get half-price registration for the entire conference and hear Phrantceena reveal what the world must know urgently about nuclear security. Imminent world dangers known only by insiders. Whatever happened to all that weapons-grade plutonium when Russia and the United States agreed to deconstruct nuclear arsenals? And why is the governor of South Carolina suing the U.S. Department of Energy for $1 million a day over that question? Why is megatons to megawatts not working? What is Russia doing in retaliation for our breaching that treaty? What is the biggest threat to nuclear security worldwide? Get answers when Phrantceena speaks at the conference. And get half-price conference registration by using the code TTD. Use the VIP code TTD when you register online at EUEC.com.
Empower your family with the dynamic new book by Phrantceena Halres, Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are. It's the book that gives you insights into life's problems. Phrantceena Halres is an author, motivational speaker, and national broadcaster who believes the answers to your problems lies within the knowledge that was once traditionally passed down by families. But that knowledge has been short-circuited by today's faster pace. The book, Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are, brings that accumulated wisdom to the problems that all families face. You'll find your copy of Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are at Amazon and at better bookstores. Empower your life with the dynamic new book, Our Sixth Sense and Purpose, The Power in Knowing Who You Are by Phrantceena Halres.
Welcome back to Empowered Family Talk with our special guest panelists today, Ms. Elena Miller-Ash, Ms. Jody Appel, Dr. Wong, and Dr. Chu. Thank you guys for being with us today. And as we wrap up our last session here, I would like for each of you to think about offering our listeners your top 3 nuggets that you would recommend our parents do today to start embracing holistic health and wellness in the home first. And number 2, if you could share with us your advice for education. Are our children being properly educated in the schools on what to eat and drink? If you could share your advice on what they can do to embrace a holistic cycle in our school system. And I'm going to start with Dr. Wong.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about this kind of issue for the advice for the kids.
Yes.
Well, you know, when we talk about the Chinese medicine, we think the human body as the whole small universe. Mm-hmm. And the family also should be harmonized, like the next person. And the family should be harmonized as the unit, united as one. Mm-hmm. And harmonized with the community, harmonized the society, mm-hmm. The country, and the universe. Mm-hmm. All the circles should be unified and harmonized. So the advice to the kids, you should, as a parent, you should be very kind and friendly with the kids. But something we have to talk to the kids to understand. As the kids, we need to learn how to get the better life, mm-hmm. how to, in the future maybe contribute to the society, to the family, to the friends, to the society, to the universe. So how can you do that? First, you need to take a responsibility to your. Mm-hmm. How can you do that? You building up your healthy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Okay, eating regularly, no junk food. Mm-hmm. Like the sugar. To me, I think the sugar right now it's called the poison.
Yes.
Look out the food store. A lot of the sweets, candy, cake. That's the poison. To me, every my patient come to my office, I told them, I give the advice: do not touch those kind of the poison stuff. Too much. Mm-hmm. In United States, how many people got the overweight, obesity? 2/3 of the people is overweight.
Right.
And obesity. That's because of the lifestyle. They eat too much junk food, too much sugar. So eat regularly, eat healthy. More vegetable, drink a lot of the water. Mm-hmm. That's the first step. Second, you have to study very, very hard. Study hard. Yeah. Second. Third, do the exercise. Mental exercise and the physical exercise. Mm-hmm. Like your whole life. If you building up those kind of the healthy habit, you can get a benefit for whole life. Yeah, that's my suggestion.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Wong. Well noted and well taken. Thank you so much. Dr. Chu, we're going to go to you, and then we'll come to Jody and Elena. But Dr. Chu.
Okay. I think nowadays there's a lot of. I just last few days there is a mother bring his son over and for ADHD, attention deficit, and there is too much activity. It's hard to focus. It seems like nowadays it's pretty popular problem. A lot of children are hard to focus.
Yes.
And they go to different doctors and they start to give them medicines to calm them down. And I said that this is really not a very good idea. So I asked them questions, and the boy actually looks pretty smart. There is nothing wrong physically.
Right.
So my suggestion with those things is, I think that this is a habitual thing that's gradually forming until to a point it starts to have difficulty in actual studying or doing things because the mind starts to jump.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is coming from the modern, there's too much electronic, computer games. Those,
yes.
If you spend a lot of time on those, on the computer, especially those games, then the mind starts to jump. Very difficult to focus. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes they will do several things at one time. They will listen to music while doing homework and talking and eating. All these things are happening at the same time. And most of the modern family are not aware. This is a bad habit to have, not only for children, for adults also. So we have to start ourselves to learn to focus, learn to do one thing at a time, because our health is really very much depend on how our mind works. If our mind is chaotic, our health will be chaotic.
Yes.
So, first of all, is to do one thing at a time. Try to reform our habits. Mm-hmm. And also to limit the time on the computers or TVs or those kind of electronic influences. So if you do exercise, you walk and you talk with each other, sit together, have a meal together, then you don't turn the TV on. You just do one thing, not just talk. And you look at each other and talk rather than doing all kinds of things at one time. So I think if we, because children learn from parents. So if as adults we start to notice this might not be a good habit for us and also for children, then we'll start from there.
Yes.
The education-wise, I think there is a big chunk is missing nowadays. That we think about education is about the knowledge of math or science of those kind of things. But we need to learn values. We need to learn how to live, and that is a big chunk that in educational system we don't get. So when we grow up, we still don't have a lot of knowledge about how to live, how to raise children, how to take care of our parents. And it seems like those are all extra things. Seems like the most important knowledge in life we don't learn from education. This is a big chunk that's missing. So I hope people who pay attention to education need to really think about how to put that value system back into our educational system.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Chu. Those I've got, learning how to value our lives and actually how to live our lives.
That's right.
Very, very important. And Dr. Wong left us with, we've got to get to the root of the problem. We've got to have a healthy lifestyle.
That's right.
Sleep, watch what we eat, stop eating junk food, our mind, body, soul, and spirit. So thank the two doctors for being here and giving us your wise advice. And we'll come back after we get to Jody and Elena and share with us, our listeners, your advice for the family to get started with massage.
Elena, do you want to go first, or
Elena? Did we lose Elena?
No, I'm sorry. I can go first.
Okay.
I was thinking exposure. Expose the children to the different modalities of massage. Maybe starting with a chair massage, just to introduce them to someone placing their hands on them. And if you have a child that's an athlete, massage is great for them as well. And it doesn't have to be 60 minutes. It can be 20 or 30 minutes. But, the parent really is the leader, and they're the influencer. So if you are exercising with your child, then take the time to do the stretching. Show them after the exercise how to take care of their bodies. And, of course, hydrating before your massage, during your sports events, after your massage is very important too. Hydrate, flushing the body. Mm-hmm. So, the parent really sets the tone, and if you're exposing them to different modalities of holistic care, then they will be more than likely to follow in your steps.
Exactly. And lead by example. Is what I hear. Lead by example to moms and dads when it comes to these children. Now, Jody, thank you, Miss Elena. Miss Jody?
Yeah. So everybody has shared such great information. I think, whether it's the parent, it's the teacher, it's the grandparent, it's the aunt, whoever that may be in their lives needs to really be the educator. And I think, even just thinking about that we're even having this topic of conversation in a round table, 15 years ago, we wouldn't be having this topic in a round table, which is even progress within itself, which is amazing and wonderful. And I think, as far as, so I've done some traveling and seeing what other cultures do in their, let's say, day-to-day with their school system and how they eat. They take time to actually eat. I think I don't have children of my own, but I have lots of people in my life that do. And I think we get maybe like 20 minutes in our school system, and like ketchup is the vegetable where, in France, like they have actual vegetables that are cooked that are organic, or Denmark, they have like really good cheeses. There are really good foods, and we're just feeding our children, unfortunately, a lot of dead food, as I'm going to call it, kind of food that doesn't have a lot of life to it, whether it's vegetables that are overcooked, and we kill off all the good things, or haven't raised it organically or whatnot. So not that everybody, unfortunately, in our world today, in America at least, can afford organic, but I think even I have a friend in Greenville who's actually works in the hospital system, and she works with the lower class, where she takes basically the time to make packages up where you can go to the store and you can trade them in for your like EBT points, and it's a whole meal that you get to stop and you get to cook with your family. And like they give you all the ingredients to do this. And I think that one big thing in our lives here as growing up, we are always plugged into the next electronic thing, the computer, the iPad, the whatever it may be at the moment, the video game. And even just stopping and saying, hey, let's cook together. Let's stop and make a meal. And like, let me show you how you do this. I've done some organic farming with young children who didn't even know that carrots didn't come out of a can.
Exactly.
So I think like we've not been trained to know as a society. We've just been so like, oh, you just grab it off the shelf. But like, let's get our hands in some dirt and let's like teach people how to grow food. Like, it's a sustainable function that can actually, like, you can always constantly regrow from the seeds from your other vegetables. So I'm a big advocate of just teaching from the level, whether, like I said, it's teacher, aunt, mother, brother, sister, any of that, like you teach one and then the next kid's like, wow, that's really awesome. I didn't even know that. I thought we just got it off the shelf. No, you actually take the time. So whether that's, doing massage or getting an acupuncture treatment or coming to the salt cave, I think it's again, leading by that example, and unplugging, I think, is really a big key. Like, we don't do that in our society in general. I mean, I can't keep up with the internet at this point. Like, it's so fast, whether it's for my business or my personal life, like the next thing is always like 16 steps ahead of me. And if we don't, like, it's supposed to make our lives easier, but the reality is it's really not making our lives easier. So the more that we can kind of teach ourselves and our children to stop and unplug from those things, and sort of, whether it's meditation or saying, hey, let's go outside and play. Taking that time to just say, hey, we're not going to do this right now. We're going to, like, shut down. We're going to like breathe,
unplug,
and move on through our day. For unplug, like, we just need to. I think our society just is really way too plugged in. And I run a business, and I'm always plugged in.
We all are.
So
we all are. Thank you.
Trying to take that knowledge for myself.
Yes. Thank you so much, Miss Jody. And we'll close on that note. Miss Elena Miller Ash, Miss Jody Lapel, and Dr. Chu and Dr. Wong, thank you very much for spending your time and your wise counsel with us today. And we would like for you to wrap up by giving your phone number and website where our audience can reach out to you for further consult, and we'll bring this to a close. And we'll start with Elena. Give your website real quickly, and so we can close out this session. And thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you, Phrantceena, for having me. It's spatherapystudio.com, and my phone number is 704-689-1400. Thank you so much.
Miss Jody.
Yeah, my business is Asheville Salt Cave, so my website is ashevillesaltcave.com, and our phone number is 828-236-5999, and it was such a great pleasure to get to connect with all of you on this wonderful topic.
Awesome. Thank you. Dr. Wong?
Yes, thank you. And our website is www.valentineacupuncture.com. We have office in Valentine area and Rock Hill. And our office phone number is 704-968-0351. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And Dr. Chu?
Thank you. My website is raleighAcupuncture.com, and my phone number is 919-649-4976.
Thank you very much. And we will bring this session to a close as we've talked about restoring God's divine order into our health for our families in the 21st century. We're going to close until next week, next time, and I'd like to leave our listeners with a poem that was written by one of our listeners on our health and its wealth. The poem is entitled, Health is Wealth, by Raja Basu. Health is our most precious wealth. I hope you agree. No doubt, health is the sweetest fruit of our life tree. Money is certainly important, and so is social prestige. But it is a good health that is the source of a constant bliss. You may have the money to tour the world, but can't if your health does not permit. You can buy all the food of the world, but your bad health will not let you eat. You might have huge honor in the city with everybody bowing before you, but you will fail to enjoy it if you regularly develop health problems anew. In this way, the bad health will always play a serious part in the way of your enjoying what you have, wealth, house, or a car. On the other hand, the good health is a source of constant happiness that will actually turn your life into one of charm, pleasure, and grace. Take good care of your health and develop a body that is sound and strong, and ensure a life that is happy and charming besides being long. By Raja Basu. I am Phrantceena Tate Halres, your hostess.
You've been listening to Empowered Family Talk with your hostess, Phrantceena Halres. Be sure and join us next week and every week at this time for the program that brings you practical answers to the questions of the 21st century. For Empowered Family Talk, I'm Jack Bishop.